You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Next, featuring intimate and in-depth interviews with Black Hollywood's next edition of stars and influencers. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, next.
Welcome to Black Hollywood Live Next. I am your host, Ebony K. Williams, your legal resident expert, and I am joined by Mr. Nick Perdue, our comedian extraordinaire.
What up?
We are so excited this week. We are joined live in studio with a man that I really can't describe any other way than a master of every genre of entertainment, right?
Wow. Yeah.
World-renowned model, actor, host, and musician. I'm talking about Mr. Sam Sarpong. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you, man. Ebony, I need to take you on the road with me, bro. Like, yeah, you got a brother feeling good up in here.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Flavor Flav, right? Like, I'm like your own personal hype woman. Absolutely.
We'll work good together, be a team.
Absolutely. Welcome, Sam. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we're going to get right into it.
Okay.
So we know that you are originally from the UK.
Yeah.
And that you spent 11 years of your life, the first part of your life growing up overseas, across the pond, as they say. What was that like as a kid growing up over in London?
Well, it's quite amazing, you know.
Take us back, the throwback
my
accent.
father and my mom. No, it was great. I always tell people I had a great childhood. It was a blessing. And then my parents got a divorce when I was about 12. And my sister stayed with my mom, and then I came out here with my dad. And, you know, it's I think it was in God's plan. Like, because the core of who Sam Sarpong is like London. So my morals, the way I dress, everything is UK. But LA just more suits my personality, my vibe. You know what I mean? So coming out here was like I fit in right away. It was crazy because I lost my accent in like 6 months being around other kids. You know what I mean? So I thank God every day that I was able to come out here and, you know, just live this LA life.
Well, we're glad to have you. What do you miss most about the UK?
Fish and chips. Fish and chips and shopping. I'm a shopaholic, and there's no better place to buy clothes than like London. Yeah. Their fashion sense is sick out there.
We're gonna get to fashion, but like, are you a Burberry guy?
Yeah, I like Burberry, but I'm more of a Louis Vuitton guy.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about you know, right now as we sit here to do this interview, the United States is kind of captivated by this Trayvon Martin, you know, George Zimmerman trial and kind of the racial tensions that lie within that. Did you feel any of those types of racial tensions at all in the UK, or was it something you were aware of?
You know what it is? Yeah, there is. I mean, there's a lot of racial tension, and I would actually say that it's worse in the UK than it is out here, believe it or not. See, the good thing about it is this is why, if you guys notice, the last 10 years, everybody is moving from London to come here to work. So whether it's Idris Elba, whether it's Chiwetel, whether it's Cat Deely, who's on So You Think You Can Dance. Because the thing out there is, for us blacks, here in the States, as tough as it is, every show, you got your one token black person. In London, you may have 20 top shows, and out of those 20, there's one black person.
So just no representation.
There's none. None. And my sister, she's made history. My sister's like the biggest TV presenter in the UK, and she's the first of her kind to be black and to break down these barriers. So it's you know, it doesn't exist out there. That's why all these black actors, they move to Hollywood, because out here they're like, yo, if you work hard, you're going to get your shot and you're going to get your chance. In London, it's not like that. You cap out. It's almost like they keep you away before you really go to that next level. There's only a certain height that you can reach.
They kind of marginalize it.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's why I'm glad I came out here.
Well, we're glad to have you.
I'm so glad I came out here.
So now you said that, you know, fitting into LA was a little easy for you. So we know that you attended middle school and high school in Los Angeles. So kind of like, what was that transition like? Because, you know, kids can be a little more cruel than adults.
But see, I think because I had an English accent, if anything, I got more love because I was different. So it's like, you know, the girls loved it. The fellas wanted to hang with me because the girls loved it. And then I played basketball, and then, you know, I did music. I was a rapper. So it was like I had no problem, man. I had no problem at all. The only thing was, when I was young, girls used to tease me and say that I had big lips.
And now they probably.
Well,
I mean.
No, but I have a story for that. So this is real. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
So when I was young, I was very insecure. They used to always tease me when I was young about my lips. Then I got in junior high and I got a girlfriend, and I kissed her, and she made a mistake of telling all her friends. So when we broke up, all her friends started wanting to date me, and then, you know, they gave me a nickname, and the nickname that they gave me was Pillow Lips. And they said because my lips put girls to sleep.
Oh, wow.
And this was in junior. I swear, you can't make this stuff up. And this was in junior high. So I went from, you know, dark little skinny kid with big lips to Pillow Lips. Damn, girl, I want a piece of that.
That's funny. That's funny. I have to say, though,
And
your ex-girlfriend made a fatal mistake. I'm from South Louisiana, right? And my grandma taught me, like, at 6 years old. If your man's doing anything right, like paying a bill, cute, whatever, don't tell anybody.
Oh, wow.
No, for real, right?
You
Because
know
then they're going to want the.
See, me and you can relate because I am the same. My father, anybody that knows Sam Sarpong will say, I am the most private. I don't talk about nothing. Like, I keep my family. If I have a girl, I keep that sacred. If I don't talk. And that's how my dad raised me. And what he told me, he said, the less people that know about your business, the more successful you'll be.
So true.
So if you got money and you walking around with a white T-shirt on and jeans, ain't nobody messing with you.
Totally inconspicuous.
Yeah,
right,
nobody's messing. And if you and your girl are happy and everybody doesn't know about your relationship, there's no hating or there's people are like, oh, okay.
You're not a target. You're not a target. Yeah.
So I so agree with your grandmother. High five, Ebony.
Booyah. Boom. There we go.
Well, you know, Mr. Sam Pillow Lip Sarpong. Since you first started your career path in Hollywood, right? So you're really carving this thing out. Now, being British in Hollywood wasn't as popular as it is
back
today.
then.
Back then. So, but you know, now it's a little more popular and it's a little more common.
Yeah, it's such a trend.
Yeah. So, I mean, but do you think that it's helped you or it's hurt you?
Well, you know what's funny is it hasn't helped me because I lost my accent and my whole vibe is like, you know, a New York dude or whatever people say, I'm not considered British no more. So it's like the cats that are coming out here now, fresh from UK, they're the ones that are so even now when I go out before I used to be able to kill when I would go on a role for an English guy because there was nobody else and I know that accent. Now I go, there's 10 real UK cats. You see what I'm saying?
Fresh off the plane, right?
Fresh off the plane. So they're hiring them. They're not hiring Sam who walks in like, hey, what's up, y'all? And then walks in. Jumps into the character, you know what I mean?
Right.
So what I was saying was love, you know what I mean? So yeah, so it hasn't helped me whatsoever.
No, but what about being black and British? You know, because you know we know like Idris, you know, he has his British accent, but he also has like his American accent, you know, where he can turn on his American accent.
The whole wire thing,
right.
It's, I mean, whenever I got to turn it on, I could turn it on, but it's like, as far as I don't know. I've never used it to my advantage, really.
Okay.
Being able to turn it on. Yet.
I'm
so stuck in that. But everyone always says that. They're like, man, you sound so much smarter when you talk the other way. I swear, I hear that all the time. They're like, you should use that more.
Yeah. I could see a film role or something where that would be really handy.
I will put that in the universe.
I'm putting
I did one movie like that. I did a movie called Johnny Was. It was a great, you know, Eric LaSalle?
Of course.
Yeah, it was me, Eric LaSalle, what's his name? Gosh, it was a lot of big stars in that. But we shot it in London for 3 months. Cool. Yeah, so I got to play an English guy in that movie.
Yeah,
so that I got to use it.
I like it. Okay, so Sam, we know in high school you were a pretty big deal on the basketball court. You kind of mentioned that. Did you have an expectation that would go to the collegiate or professional level?
That's a good question. Yeah, actually, that was, since I was a kid, that was my dream. I wanted to be in the NBA. And then after I graduated high school, I realized that even though I was good, it wasn't reality, no matter how hard. Because let me tell you something, from like 12 to 18, I woke up every day. Like, I probably spent maybe, I'm not exaggerating, 6-7 hours a day shooting.
Wow.
I'd wake up at 6 a.m., school started at 8, go from 6 to like 7:30, just shoot, go to school, go to practice, after school to the gym. I mean, I was obsessed. But, you know, one thing, I think one of my best qualities in life, and this is something very few people have, and I'm so thankful for it, I'm one of the most realistic people you will ever meet in your life. So I know my ability right now as an actor. I know where I'm trying to go. I know who's better than me. I know who I'm better than. Most people won't admit that. Yeah. Yes. I have no problem saying if one of my boys that I grew up with right now today is a better actor than me, I have no problem. Like Omari Hardwick, he's one of my best friends. Omari's a better actor than me right now.
Right now.
The fact is, I mean, it's just real. But hosting and some other things and fashion, I know where I'm at. So then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm real. But I have no problem saying I'm going to work my butt off, and who knows, maybe in 5 years I'll be as good as Omari. Exactly. So the bottom line is you just got to be real with yourself. And with basketball, I was real. As great as I was, I wasn't good enough for the NBA. So then, you know, the whole hosting and acting, I wanted to do that since I was a kid anyway. So as soon as I graduated high school, I jumped right into
that opportunity.
it. Yeah.
I think that's an important point, Sam. I think you're speaking about self-awareness. Yeah. And I think it's something that's so critically missing, particularly in our generation. I see a lot of delusion and a lot of just hopeful, you know, and I'm not knocking hope. You know, I think you should aspire to whatever your heart's desire is, but within reason and be truthful about the effort you're putting into it too. Right. Because a lot of times I feel like people have this expectation of their success based on nothingness.
You're so right. Yeah. And they think, oh, I'm going to blow up or I'm going to get this, but they're not doing the work. Like one thing about me, while everyone's at the club, if I have an audition, I'm up till 4 or 5 in the morning working on my, this ain't a game to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like even now, like I'm about to go back to school and like work on my craft even, because that's how bad I want it.
Love it.
Yeah, and you know, it's so competitive out here. If you don't put that effort in, there's no way you're going to go to that next level. You know, and there's some people, it's 1 in a billion, but I have friends that have never taken a class. 2 come to mind right away, and these people, they work more than anybody. But that's 2 in a billion. Yeah. You see what I mean? Yeah. The rest of us that have a little natural ability, you got to fine-tune that. I think Will Smith said it best. He's like, I will outwork talent any day of the week. There you go. And that's the best line to me, because all of us are talented. God gave us abilities to be able to just do stuff naturally, but to be the elite, you have to be a perfectionist. Kobe Bryant's not just Kobe Bryant. He's the first one in the gym and the last one to leave.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of how I approach my craft.
I love that. And I'll say that almost everyone that has sat on that couch from our show, we've probably maybe done, 10 or 12 interviews now? Yeah. Every last one of them has studied their craft. They've echoed that sentiment.
See, that's awesome.
You know, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That's awesome.
But are you happy with the way things turned out? Like, you know, basketball kind of took the left.
Because you know what's funny? Early on in my career, I did nothing but basketball roles. Right. So it helped me. You know, I got to do a lot of guest stars and a lot of commercials. So being good at basketball helped me so much with my acting in the beginning.
I'm also now going to put out into the universe that you do a guest spot on Hit the Floor. I think I see that. Right?
Yeah. You know,
right.
Wait, is that the VH1 show?
Yes.
My song's on there. Lose My Mind.
Okay, great.
Yeah, show, I've been so busy working, I haven't had a chance to watch it.
It's a great show.
The week before last week, they played my single on that show.
Then I heard it because I watch it every week. Okay, great. And
now order some Patron and watch me lose. My manager just sent me the clip like a few days ago.
Awesome.
Wait, so why is this show? What's the show about?
Because it's about basketball. So basically, it's based in NBA, professional basketball team in Los Angeles. Yeah. And the story really follows and focuses on the dance team. They're called the Devil Girls, but it's based about a professional basketball team.
I auditioned for that show.
Yeah. Well, I already know it. You're totally going to get a guest spot at the minimum.
Yeah. I auditioned for one of the lead roles, but it wasn't called Hit the Floor.
It wasn't. It was called Bounce.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's crazy. Yeah, I auditioned for that.
Yeah, you're going to be on there. I see it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
We'll put that in the universe. All right, Lord. Hit the floor. Sam's coming.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, Sam, you've also said that, you know, if it wasn't for your sister and your father, then you would have quit the business.
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah. So can you kind of tell us, you know, like a couple of things that happened and your relationship with your father and your sister now?
The major thing that happened for me was like, you know, when you become, I was really blessed because I was a struggling actor, and then right away I booked the Tommy Hilfiger campaign, and my life was a whirlwind for 7 years. So I went from barely being able to pay my bills, doing a telemarketing job part-time, to now being an international model where I go to London and it's like I'm doing appearances, you know, like at their equivalent of Macy's, and there's 3,000 screaming girls. I mean, this happened from today to like 6 months later. Right. So I made a lot of money early. Luckily, I had my father to guide me, and I started buying real estate and doing things and this and that. But after you have that success for 7 years straight, you kind of think that that's all life is. Like, you're never going to fall back. So I had a rude awakening, and things dried up for me for a long time where there was no hosting, no acting, nothing. And I almost lost my house. Like, and my father and my sister were the only ones that was like, and you know what's funny too? I'm sure you guys can relate to this. When that happens, boy, does that phone stop ringing.
Oh, socially.
Your friends don't call.
Your boo act like she don't know who you are.
Like the people that you think really love you, that phone is dead. And you call people when you need help, dead. So my father and my sister were the only ones that were like, God put you on this earth to do what you're doing. And I don't care how much you struggle. I don't care no matter what. We got your back, and this is what you were meant to do. And for me, it just gave me, because no matter what we're going through, all we need is like one person, just that you respect, to be like, it's okay, like you're gonna be all right. Because I was so freaking young when this happened, it just crumbled me, and I was like, well, maybe this ain't meant to be, and this and that, and so that's why I always say, and even now, like as much as I work now, there's still laws where I may not work for 4 months, and for me, like, I'm such a creative person. When I go through that law, it's like it really affects me because I need to be like stimulated. I gotta be writing a script or hosting or something. It's the only thing that makes me feel good is being creative.
Got it.
So when you go through those laws, it's only people that are close to you that you can share that you're even going through that. Because in Hollywood, you always got to, man, ain't an actor in this world that ever says, man, it's dried up. I see all my friends, oh, yeah, man, it's good, it's good. I'm like, come on. But see, I'm so real, I'll tell you the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, I'd rather just go work on my stuff and work on me than to be around all that sometimes. And the good thing is when you go through that, the biggest lesson that I've learned, it's always God giving you growth. Because every time I come back out of it, I'm like seasoned. It's like my career, it does this. It goes a little bit up when you come out of that. But they're the foundation, my sister and my dad.
I think that's so special you said that, Sam, because a lot of people feel they buy into the myth of the big break, like the singular big break. Like you book this one thing or you get this one campaign, and from there your career is on constant ascent.
It's not true.
And that's not true. And again, from the people that have sat where you're sitting and you're saying it today, it's not linear like that. It's a roller coaster. It's peaks and valleys, and it's really your ability to recoup in the valley that really defines the sustainability of your career.
Because most people, when they do that, they quit and they give up. Like, I've been in this now 13, 14 years. Let me tell you something. There's so many people I see now that I started with that have quit. You know, I would say maybe there's 20, 30% that I started with that are still doing it. And when we see each other, we all smile. We're like, yo. They'd be like, Sam, how you doing, man? How's work? I'm like, I'm still here. That's my favorite line. I'm still here. So that's good to me. I got a roof over my head. I drove a car here today. I got food on the table. You know, I'm still here. The rest is I've learned that. And I think also what happens is when you go through those things that we're talking about, you really learn to be so content. Like, I'm at such a good place in my life now when I don't get parts. It's like I don't take stuff personal no more. I know who Sam is. I know what I have to offer. I know when I walk in the room what I'm bringing. And if they don't want Sam, they want somebody else, it's not personal. You know what I mean?
I do.
But that all comes from trials. That comes from hearing a million no's. You know?
And still having, though, the confidence, as you're speaking about, to know they're not saying no necessarily to you. That it's no for that project.
For that project.
And that's okay.
That's it.
That's cool.
And there's a million of us that are good. So it's like, yo, I get it. If, you know, if there's a like hit the floor, if there's a role for a basketball player and 10 of us read, you know, 7 of us are going to be great, but it's whoever's role it is that day. You know what I mean? So you don't take it personal.
Sam, your sister June, she's, as you said, history making in her own right, incredibly successful in her own right. Has she influenced your career path?
Hugely. She's kind of set the bar and set the path for me. And when I say that, it's just from I see what she's gone through to jump through and make those hurdles that she has, and just seeing what she's gone through. She's been an example without even knowing it. She's been an example. So June is like you would never meet a brother that loves his sister more than, like, I adore my sister. She's like my pride and joy, like, and she's just there, man. Like, she's just there and just the biggest ways possible. And she always knows, like, if I'm going through something, she'll just call me out of the blue and just be like, you know, she knows. It's that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I adore her, man. And she's really breaking down barriers and doing a lot of great things.
Yeah. Was there ever any friendly rivalry? You know,
Never.
Like, no,
Never.
not even friendly. Okay.
Because the thing is, I moved here when I was a kid, like I said, and I didn't even know June was in London pursuing entertainment. Because I was the one that always talked about entertainment. She never did. So June's first break was she got a internship working for Kiss FM when she was like 17. From there, she went on to MTV, and then from MTV, she went on to T4. T4 is basically like being on NBC and having a TRL type show.
Awesome.
So she did that show for 9 years.
Oh my God.
So now, whether you're Beyonce, Brad Pitt, whoever, when you go to London, you do my sister's show. So even now, when we're in LA and we're walking around and like, it's just crazy. Like, she's known Beyonce from day one, and then I end up filming Beyonce's first movie, Carmen. I played one of the leads, and me and her became like super tight friends for like 7 years. So she already knew my sister, you know what I mean? So doing what we do, we run through so many of the same circles. And then half the time, people don't even know it. Like, she interviewed Jamie Foxx in London. She's talking to Jamie, and then he's like, wait a minute, Sarpong, you ain't related to Sam. She's like, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we connect in so many different ways. So it's cool.
It's a beautiful connection.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a blessing.
So now, you know, typical African fathers, right? They generally want their sons to be lawyers or doctors and stuff like that, engineers. Yeah.
Big time.
But because I know that you said that, you know, your father didn't press you to kind of, you know, take that typical route. You know, he kind of gave you the leeway to kind of find what you were good at and let you kind of build to that for your goals. So like, how has that helped you in your career?
It's helped me a lot because you're right. You know, in the African community, it's looked down upon if you want to go in entertainment. But I think what helped is my dad said when I was 3, I used to stand in front of the mirror and I had a pencil and I'd be interviewing people. So he said when he saw that, he was like, this is what you were born to do. And he said from then on, it wasn't even a, you know, there's times in the past where I doubt myself, such as that time I went through that, I almost lost my house and all that. And he's the one that's saying, no, you got to stick with it. You know, I was actually thinking about going to get a regular job and just crazy stuff. And he was like, nah, this is what you got to do. So you have no idea how lucky I am. And my dad's my business manager too. So he travels with me. He's June's business manager. Like the Sarpong clan, it's a very tight-knit family. Awesome. Yeah, we support each other.
So, Sam, you mentioned your original success, big blowout success, was modeling when you booked the Tommy Hilfiger ad. Let's take it back. First of all, tell us what it was like for you as a very young man being the face of Tommy Hilfiger.
It was good because at that time he was the hottest designer out. Everybody here, Aaliyah had just signed a contract. Tyrese signed a contract 6 months before I did. Tretch and Naughty by Nature was right. It was like the hottest thing in the urban world.
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember. Yeah. So for me to be the face of it, it was incredible because it just started off with one campaign, and one campaign took off so big that from there, that's when they were like, okay, I'll never forget it. Like, my campaign came out. They're like, Sam, we're going on a mall tour. The mall tour was 10 models. So it was like me, it was Julius Erving's daughter. It was a bunch of people that went on this tour. And basically with the tour, you go to department stores, you sign autographs. We all have our promo cards and this and that. And you answer questions about the brand, fashion, and all that. So Tommy Hilfiger went on a tour with us, and every city we get off a bus. And I don't know what it was. I mean, it's 10 of us, probably 5 guys, 5 girls. My connection with people and how they reacted to me. I mean, I have footage on my document. It was sick. I didn't even understand it. I'm like, how's this little skinny kid from Africa? Like, I get off the bus and it was like, I got so much love. So when Tommy Hilfiger saw that, that's when he was like, okay, because no one else from that campaign did another campaign after that.
Oh, wow.
And he signed me for 6 years after that. Amazing. So I always say that was God. It had nothing to do with me. I came in at a time where Tyson Beckford had laid the foundation. Being dark-skinned and bald was considered sexy or appealing at the time. Michael Jordan was the hottest thing out.
King of the world.
Yeah. So I always say it was God. It could have been any other dark-skinned black dude, but I came in at the right time, and it was just my, it was my turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now you mentioned we all remember Hill Figure being the biggest thing in certainly urban culture for sure. Yeah. But we also remember there was a bit of a backlash, a little bit of controversy, if you will.
They said he was racist and all
that.
Yeah.
What is your thought on that, kind of from the inside?
Here's my thought on that. People say that, but knowing him, I worked very close with him and his brother Andy. Like, I worked very close with Andy. Andy ran Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy was like the name, you know? And I can say this. Tommy's assistant was black. Andy's assistant was black. The New York offices was full of black people. I never saw anything like that.
Got it.
So whenever I did interviews or whatever, I put that rumor to rest because I was like, all in life, all you can go on is your experiences.
Exactly.
That's it. And, for me, that's my man, ride or die. I bought my first house because of him. So I owe Tommy. Yeah, I owe, you know what I mean? I owe Tommy big time. Right. So, yeah, he's a cool dude.
Cool.
Now let's talk about how they kind of discovered you, because was it Tommy Hilfiger himself that was watching the campus, but it was his people.
Yeah,
were watching
you have like the advertising agency or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was doing a show. I'd never modeled a day in my life. I was doing a TV show, just a little guest spot, like a small little part. And
it was on Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds. They saw me on there. They called me in for a casting, and the thing that was really good, I didn't know what was at stake, and because I had never modeled, I walked in there very confident and cocky, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
So first I went on the first call, second call, third call, and basically on all these calls, each time you try and close, but there's just more people.
Right.
So I went on like 6 callbacks, which is very rare in modeling. So I walk in to the final callback, and I'm trying on clothes. I do it. They're asking you questions. There's a bunch of people sitting just like this. So right when I'm about to leave, like, they had me trying on so much stuff, I'm just kind of like, dang, like, y'all see how it looks. So I look to him. And I go, all right, look, I'm cool, I'm young, and I'm black. You gonna hire me or what? just like that, right? Yeah. Just like that.
Right.
Dead silence. So I'm like, oh, shoot. I just messed up. Then all of a sudden, they start cracking up, just dying.
Yeah.
Drive home, halfway home, my agent calls and goes, my manager, what the heck did you do in there? I'm like, wait, well, why? You booked the job.
You booked it, yeah. Awesome.
And everybody, I was up against all these models that had books and this and that. I had a freaking Z card like that was this little. I wasn't a model, so I had no experience, but the fact that that person was watching the show at that time, it was my destiny,
Yeah.
So that's how it all went down.
Yeah.
Now, we referenced this a little earlier, but with the whole Louis Vuitton thing, so you were the first black male to do a
fashion editorial campaign. Yeah. So that was real cool. I mean, they had hired like Naomi Campbell in the past and had other people. And actually, right after I did my fashion editorial, Pharrell did a huge Louis Vuitton campaign. So it's the company's been around since 1852, but I guess they had never really had a lot of people of color, males, represent for the brand. And when that happened, me and my dad got to go to Paris, and I took a tour of the biggest, it's like the flagship store that's like 10 blocks long. It's the craziest thing you'll ever, and they take you through all these private doors. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I'm like getting so excited. Okay. It's like Christmas. Okay.
Yeah. You can't talk about purses and bags
no,
to
please
girls.
don't. No, it's like bad business.
10 blocks long for this
right.
store.
No, it's that store is, I've never seen anything like it wraps around. When I say wraps around, it's incredible. It's like just stories and stuff. I've never seen anything like it.
When handbags are $5,000 a pop, you can
afford that.
Yeah, you can build a big store like that.
And what's crazy is, not to be stereotypical, but when you go in there, dude, it be all these Asian people.
Oh,
and they be buying like it's 20,000. Okay, I'll take one of those. I'm telling you, they have like a private room for those type of shoppers.
Yeah.
And they be buying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Louis killing.
Yeah.
Now, also, what was it like working with Tyson Beckford? Because he was, considered like he was the first man to really break through.
I always, whenever I do interviews or I do anything, like I give so much, because how it came about was when I was modeling for Tommy Hilfiger, Tyson came to one of their launch parties, and this is when I had just announced They announced me as the face. Rebecca Romaine was the female face at the time. Rebecca Romaine Stamos.
Then Stamos, and now
I think
whatever.
whatever.
It's a new husband.
O'Connell, right?
Yep,
Jerry O'Connell?
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah. So
way to be sensitive, guys. I like it. Okay.
So Rebecca was the girl face, I was the guy face, and Tyson came to the party, and I remember he pulled me aside, and he said, "Hey, you know, congratulations on everything, and I just want you to know, like, at most of the jobs and everything that you do from here on out, you're gonna be the only black dude." So he told me 2 things. He was like, "Get used to it," and 2, represent. Like, always make us proud. And Tyson probably don't even remember this, but, like, I'll never forget that, because why it was so big to me, especially sometimes in Black Hollywood, I feel like a lot of people don't want to help people. And people won't talk about it, but I'm so real. I'm not like, I don't say the politically correct thing. It's true.
It is.
Black Hollywood, we don't have, like, the Jews, they get together, they pull each other up, and they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, my brother, my best friends do it. Like, I see how they do it, and I love it. And I wish black people would do that more. So for me to see Tyson Beckford pull me aside from everybody and tell me that, I owe that brother so much love. And, like, we've just been super cool ever since then. And that was, you know, over 12 years ago. And, you know, our birthdays are on the same day.
What day?
December 19th. So it's crazy. I'm like, yo, God created 2 supermodels on the same day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he like looking at his planning book like, like, it's time again.
Tyson, Tyson, okay, you, and all right, I'm gonna do Mr. Sarpong. So I got crazy love for Tyson, man.
I love that.
He's such a fun, just down to earth, cool dude.
Yeah, we got some questions here, but I'm gonna go off book a little bit because what you just talked about is just too important in my opinion.
Yes.
And recently, Oprah had a fantastic next chapter. It had Gabrielle Union. It had Viola Davis, Felicia Rashad, and Alfred Woodard.
Okay.
And the spark for this particular panel was Gabby Union was awarded the Fearless Black Woman Award
Gabrielle
from Essence.
Union?
Yes.
Okay.
For Essence magazine in Hollywood this year.
Wow.
And when she gave her speech, she gave a very moving account of how she used to be like a really, really mean girl and how she used to thrive on the downfall of her fellow black actresses.
Are you serious?
Yeah, y'all have to Google this. This is incredible.
I'm about to watch this.
No, for real. It's like 12 minutes. And it moved me to tears, not just as a woman and not just as a black woman, but as just a spirit of someone who thrives on the positive energy. I'm big on energy. That's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
And to know, and we know it, when you've lived in this world long enough, you can feel people's negative energies coming your way, just like you can feel their positive energies coming your way. And so she was very candid and, like you said, real in that moment. And she said, you know, when I first got here, I bought into that, well, she didn't say it this way, but my paraphrasing, the tokenism, this notion that there can only be one.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I'm going to get on my soapbox here. I feel like it's a very, very much so a slave mentality, right? That we have been so conditioned to feel like there's only an allotment of a space for one or possibly 2 of us to succeed at the highest level. And because of that fear, right, that anxiety, we do our best to hold each other down. And that's why when you're saying, you know, your brother, your Jewish brother, they don't have that
at all.
At all.
They're like, here, come, let's go get this together.
Right. And so I'm so inspired by you saying that, Sam, here on our show today. And I was very inspired by Gabby acknowledging that so publicly.
That it existed.
Yes, that it exists. And it still exists. And we see it and we feel it, right? All of us in our respective areas of pursuit. And I'm so excited about the day that we get past it, you know?
And, you know, I think, and for me, again, like, I've never, ever been like that because I think it's my connection with God and my spirituality, because the way that I've gotten some of my jobs, there's no way I should have got them. And I'll give you an example. When I booked Carmen and Hip Hopper at the time, everybody, I mean, if you look at that cast, amazing. I was probably the only one in the movie who wasn't famous at the time.
Academy Award winning Cuba Gooding Jr.
Just like, so I walk in this freaking audition, I have the flu, I feel like crap. This is at the callback. But as bad as I felt that day, I booked the job, and I didn't think there was any way possible I was going to book that job. Then I've walked in there's been other situations, like there was a movie, Coach Carter. I wanted that role so bad because I played basketball.
Right.
There was 8 black roles in there.
Yeah.
One of my good friends is a producer on the film, knows I was a high school All-American, still didn't get the part.
Wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me. So what that taught me was whatever's yours is yours. So even now, like, when I go in for stuff and I do good, but I'm like, this was okay, but you know what? Let me call my man Keith, like Keith Robinson.
Yeah,
you know,
he's amazing.
Keith's one of my good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on my album. Like that's my. We did
Really
Save the Last
talented.
Dance, the pilot together years ago, and we played best friends on the show. And ever since then, we've been like this. There's times where I'll read for something, and as soon as I'm leaving, I'll pick up my phone and I'll call Keith and be like, "Yo, Keith, I just read for this thing, man. Make sure you call your people and get in. You're perfect for this." Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Because I already know, like, okay, I could have killed this, but Keith right here, he gonna kill this even more.
Yeah.
So just like if there's something else where it could be whatever and Keith could kill it, but like it's so Sam,
Yes.
he'll call me and do the same thing. And that's how you should be. And I don't feel threatened by calling one of my fellow actors and saying, hey, did you get in on this? You know, like one of my friends, Sammy. Sammy was in Django Unchained, and he played one of the slaves in there. Me and him go way back, and he's African. I'm African. I read for an African movie with James Franco like a month ago, and I killed it. It was an African role, and I killed it. But when I left, I was like, you know what? Sammy should get a crack at this.
Right.
So I called Sammy, and I'm like, Sammy, do you know about this movie with James Franco? He's like, no. Call this people, and I'm like, get on it.
There you go.
You need to be, you know, because there's not many of us that can kill that, that are real Africans and kill it. You're in that small handful with me, so make sure you get called in on this.
And
Who
that's
does
why,
that?
That's why you're blessed, honestly.
It
That's
is.
just my
I know
opinion.
it is.
That's why you're blessed. And the moment we realize there's enough room for all of us to find success and live in our truth as artists, the better off we'll be.
And one thing that I've learned, Ebony, your path is not my path. I'm in my own lane. Every once in a while, I'll get on my freaking mad horse and look over and be like, dang, I worked so hard. I worked so hard, and he got the break. Every once in a while. But 90% of the time, I'm not even doing this. I'm this. Because this is Sam's lane. This ain't, you know, Michael B. Jordan's lane. This ain't Mekhi Phifer's lane. This ain't Tay Diggs' lane. It's Sam's lane. And when you know your lane, you're unaffected.
What's for
you are truly unaffected.
I love that. Okay. Back on course now. Before you, right. Okay. So before you were modeling or acting or hosting, was music.
Yeah.
First love, first baby.
Love. Yep.
First of all, give us an idea of what your sound is like.
I would say like Black Eyed Peas.
Okay.
It's commercial, top 40, fun. You know, I've had a group called The League.
Yeah.
You know, we've had like 6 albums out in Asia. I just started doing stuff in the UK. But it's dance, electro pop. It's real, my stuff is real feel-good music.
Awesome, awesome. So the intersection between fashion and music, undeniable. I mean, we've got artists like, you know, obviously Kanye's always front row at every fashion show. And Jay-Z for years, you know, shouting out Chloe glasses, or now it's Tom Ford. Do you feel like your experience in fashion helps your musical creativity?
Without a doubt, because I always say these rappers talk about, like Kanye, you know, he'll talk about rocking Louis or doing this or that, but whatever they're talking about, I'm actually living it. So I take it, Kanye's at my runway show, watching me on the runway. So as much as those rappers are talking fashion, I mean, in my songs, I nickname myself Mr. Fashion because that's me.
That's life.
That's your truth. That's
so
your
when
truth.
I'm rapping about it, you know, I'm rapping about it even to a whole nother level than Jay-Z and all them, because I'm actually...
Well, they're consumers, right? And then you've internalized this stuff in a real way. That's
in a real way. So, yeah, it definitely, I think it crosses barriers now. It's all the same now, you know?
Now, tell us a little bit about your music group, The League, because, you know, you're big in Asia and you tour out there and in the UK. So kind of give us a little.
The League is like my childhood friend. It's Mike Kasem, who's Casey Kasem's son. My roommate, Key, you know, been one of my best friends, like my brother since I was like 12, 13. And, yeah, what happened was Mike went out to Asia as a television host with MTV. He blew up as a host, and then he got so big, they were like, yo, we should do an album because we can make money off you. So he was like, well, I don't even do music. But my best friend and childhood friends, Sam and Key do, so he called me, and then we formed the group, and we went to Asia for the first time, and it was just bananas. Like it was crazy, man. It was nuts. So from there, it's just like we just went back every summer, and every summer it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And then, you know, I always say it's kind of like it has been like a couple years ago, we did Coors Light sponsors us. So we did like a Coors Light tour. And our final show, we had like 70,000 people.
Wow.
It's all on YouTube.
Oh, my God.
Our final show, we had 70,000 people, fireworks. Like, it was crazy. We did a 2-hour show. We headlined a 2-hour show. So I always say, already as an artist, I've already worked on my craft and experienced stuff that only the biggest artists in the States have. Yeah. Because Justin Timberlake or Usher or somebody on that level will do 70,000. Right. Most people have never experienced that.
I think Beyonce just did 70,000 at Staples or whatever for her.
Oh, I was there.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to that.
But that's
no, but that's
some
not
context.
70.
Yeah, that's not 70.
Because it's about
Staples
25.
Holds, yeah.
Oh,
25. Yeah.
There you go.
Now, you got to go overseas
Outside
to do the 70
Wow.
joints. Yeah. You got to be. I mean, I think the biggest thing we have here is the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like,
Pasadena.
U2, I remember because I live in Pasadena. When U2 was at the Rose Bowl, they did like 80,000. So I've experienced stuff that most artists have never had. So to me, now that I'm finally releasing my music in the States, I've mastered that craft.
That's why you got that introduction that you got.
Yeah, so
Mr. 70,000.
Right. Mr. 70,000.
Mr. Pillow Lips 70,000.
70,000. Face of Louis, face of Tommy. What?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Ebony, you coming on tour with me. I'm calling Asia right now. Yeah. So we need to get Ebony like 5,000 a show because sponsorship. Yeah, she like Puma. Yeah, she's with it. But you gotta throw in a couple of purses.
Yeah. She like totes. Okay.
Give her that Louis Vuitton tour. Huh?
Oh, jeez.
But so I've already I've laid that groundwork and done all the shows and all that. So I'm ready to drop out here now and see where it takes me.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about that. Okay, so now to your film work, right? You starred in the indie film Anchor Baby.
Yes.
Where you played a Nigerian character. And for that role, you gained 20 pounds.
Yep.
You grew out a beard. You got a dialect coach.
Yep.
When you talk about that type of physical and emotional commitment to a character, is that helpful in your acting transition as well?
Yeah, because for me, it was like, you know, I'll be honest, a lot of roles that I did before that was naturally Sam. So I didn't have to really work hard to play those roles. I just played them how I'd play them in that situation. And I could get away with it because it was real. You know, I've learned that being an actor, if it's real to you, it's gonna be portrayed as real because it's coming from a place. But with Anchor Baby, I couldn't relate to that. My wife was pregnant, about to have a kid. In real life, Sam don't have no kids. Like, you know, I don't know what that desperation feeling is like where you're in a country, you're being followed by immigration. You want your kid to be born in the U.S. so bad so he can have an opportunity. But I know other things. My career means that to me. So imagine if someone says, Sam, you will never make it. Then all of a sudden I know that desperation feeling. So there's other feelings that I can feel. And I think Anchor Baby was the first time in my career where I had to go to such a deep place to find things that it was almost like therapy. Like for 3 months, you know, I was in Canada. First of all, we shot in the wackest part of Canada, Brampton, where there's nobody there. So it's like that in itself puts you in a down position. You know what I mean? So it was, I think for me, that was the first time in my career where I was like, okay, you know what? I could really do this if I really put that effort in there. I could be not just good, I could be great if I work at it.
Love it.
And that's why even now I'm going back to school and still learning stuff and working with, you know, Eddie Rouse, who's an amazing coach. You know, he was in American Gangster and all these big movies. He's been really helping me develop my career even to that next level. And my, you know, original coach, Nadejda. So just, you know, I just want it. I want it. When you want it and you work hard, it's going to happen.
Always growing.
Yep.
Yeah,
you know,
every day.
Now, also just real quick about, you know, your character, because, you know, a lot of people have this misconception that Africa is like a country, but it's actually a continent that's made up of multiple different countries and different, you know, communities and stuff like that. But your character in the movie was Nigerian.
Yeah.
Right. And then so because we know that your father is Ghanaian.
Yeah. And my mom.
So what was that like? Like, how was that difference?
Well, it's a lot different because they're similar in the way that like the accents, like, that's why I had to get a dialect coach because the way my father talks and the way Nigerians talk, the dialects, it's still African, but the dialects is a little bit different. So, like, for example, like, I remember when I first started rehearse, like, we had a lot of rehearsal, me and Omani Obali. She's, like, the biggest Nigerian actress, so she plays my wife. So when I went to Toronto and we started rehearsing, like, if my dad was saying, like, I'm late for the bus, he would be like, Sam, I'm late for the bus. Let's go. That's the Ghanaian way.
Okay.
The Nigerian way is the same thing, but it would be like, I'm late for the bus. So the B's are different. You see what I'm saying? So there were little things that I had to change because a real Nigerian would be like, this dude's a fake. So how I even got the part, the director, Lonzo, he didn't want to give me the role because he really wanted this guy, Paul, when he came on screen, he's going through so much stuff. And a male model of someone like me playing that, he didn't think it was believable. So even though I did everything that I was going to do and all that, when I talked to him, he approached me about the part. But then after a while, he was like, but the only thing that's holding me back is the whole modeling thing and this and that and then the dialect. So what I did was I went and got the dialect coach. I called him on the phone a week later. So I call him just like, hey, Lonzo is blah, 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 blah. He's like, who is this? I'm like, it's your friend. Don't you remember? Blah, blah, blah. We sat on the phone for 10, 15 minutes with me doing the dialect, him trying to figure out who I was.
He did not know it was you.
Did not know it was me. And I go, it's Sam. And it was dead silence. After that, he goes, get ready to fly out here. The part's yours.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how dedicated I was. From the time he talked to me and sent me the script, he saw the work that I put in. And he was like, this dude is serious. And, you know, for me, even though we didn't get a U.S. distribution, the film went to Cannes, went to Toronto Film Festival. Like, it freaking won, like, 5 awards. I was nominated for a BAFTA award in London for Best Lead Actor. Like, it's literally changed my life as far as critical acclaim.
There you go.
You know what I mean? The
there
masses on the street, they don't know who the heck Sam is, and he was an Anchor Baby. But industry-wise, the casting directors and directors, from there I got a big movie called Trigger that's about to come out. Like, I've got all these other roles that are real roles because of Anchor Baby. It helped me. Because now when they see me do something like that, they're like, okay, he's more than the boyfriend or he's more than the thug. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The typecast stuff.
Yeah.
And he has the ability to commit. Like I was watching something about Daniel Day-Lewis and his method to get into character for Lincoln. And he took like a full year. He told Spielberg, dead serious, he was like, I'll do it. I need a year.
Damn,
I need a year.
Serious?
I need a year to get ready. I want to read everything Lincoln wrote.
Get
I want
out of here.
Yes, I want to get in all the way in, and don't holler at me in the year I'm getting ready. Don't rush me. And then you get, you know, Academy Award winning performance.
See, that's inspiring.
Yeah.
That's so
amazing.
inspiring. Wow.
Yeah. So but you're there. I say that because I'm hearing the echo, the same type of artistic commitment.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I
Okay.
really
So
do.
we've talked about that you've lived in Europe, Africa, you've toured Asia, you've been in Canada for extended times, and obviously home here in the U.S. Favorite place other than the U.S.? You can't claim us.
I would say either Toronto or Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah, Toronto, because like when I go to Toronto, like how they say this? Oh yeah, I'm a pretty big deal. I got crazy love in Toronto because I've been working there for like 10 years. And then Philippines because I love the shopping.
Okay.
Like, if I took you to Philippines, you wouldn't even want to come back because you like, you know, any girl that goes to the Philippines is just like, it's heaven. Because, well, the thing is, like, what's cool about Philippines is, like, Nike shoes and all that or whatever it is, I mean, Puma shoes, when you go
Do you have a deal with Puma?
Puma
Good
shoes.
night. Okay. That was a conspicuous sale.
When you go out there, everything is so cheap.
Oh, wow.
So you can get like Puma shoes for like $40 that would be $120 here. You can get like Diesel jeans for like $30 that would be like $150 here. So that's what I love is like everything is so much cheaper, and the stuff in Asia, they make stuff that you'll never see in the States. That's my favorite thing, is buying stuff when people say, where'd you get that? And I go, you can't.
You said it just like that.
Yeah, like, you can't.
Don't worry about it.
That's my favorite. I love having stuff that nobody else has. That's like this G-Shock watch that I got in UK. You can't get that here.
Can't get it.
Not this edition. Sorry. It's only in London, love. You can't get it out here.
You got to go across the pond.
You've got to go.
But see, they can watch you where you've gotten it, you know, and all the shopping on your documentary, Life as an Entertainer, which is, you said that's what, 12, 13, 14 years?
Yeah, it's been like 13 years, and just really, you know, I always say, people always, what you were saying earlier, Ebony, people always say that big break. Right. But what I've learned in life is, during your career, you have many big breaks. Right. Tommy Hilfiger was my big break. Then when I got MTV Your Mama for 4 years, being on MTV every day, that was another big break. So it's like
Anchor Baby was a big break.
Anchor Baby was a big break. So you get breaks in different ways. Yeah. So I always say the real break God gave me was the idea from day one to document this, because I knew one day I was going to be big enough to where that footage was going to be worth something. And think about it. Imagine when I get like a Jamie Foxx level or whatever level God has for me, and I'm that big, and I have my whole story from day one, and the best part about it, you get to see all these A-list stars on the journey with me. So, for example, me at Jamie's house back in the day, you know, when he was on, we guest starred on Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and we're playing ball. Me hanging out with Pamela Anderson, because I used to kick it with one of my best friends, again, like my sister is Natalie Ritano, who was on VIP. So I'd always go to Billy Blanks to work out with her and Pam. So, like, you get to see that. Like, the footage that you see, Beyonce, her first movie, you know, looking at my camera and being like, Sam, I'm so nervous. This is my first movie. I don't even know if I can do all this. Most Def, looking at my camera, schooling, talking about hip-hop and how he started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the footage I have is crazy.
Like, you can't get it anywhere else. Like,
you can't
no one
buy
else
it.
Yeah.
You can't buy. I mean, when I say I got footage, and everybody that's on my documentary is like, they're preaching about the real of the business. And the cool thing about it, I started this when nobody had cameras. Now it's a lot harder. When I'm on set or whatever, people are so wary now and they watch what they say. But before, people were speaking from the heart, and I'm cool with everybody I work with. So even when their agents are like, no, you can't do, they're like, man, that's Sam. I'm doing that for Sam. So when people see my story that one day and they see different entertainers that inspired me and that we're on the same journey, it's going to be like history in the making. I always say that. It's going to be so inspiring.
That's good.
And then you get to see the down stuff. Like when I almost lost my house, I'm sitting there on camera crying, talking about why am I going through this? When I had 7 callbacks for the movie 8 Mile. And then I'm at Beverly Center. My agent calls me and says, you didn't get it. And it was down to me and one other person. And then come to find out that none of us got it because they offered it to Mekhi Phifer, who originally didn't want to do it because he didn't want to work with a rapper, Eminem. So when they put us on hold, they fly Mekhi to Detroit. Eminem talks him into doing it. So he decides he's going to do it. But meanwhile, they have me and this other actor playing string
Still in this process.
Yes, in case, which happens. That's all day in Hollywood. But let me tell you how deep the documentary gets. So at the time, I'm working with Mekhi Phifer on Carmen the Hip Opera.
Right, he sure was. Right.
So he's playing my opposite cop. So one day, and Mekhi still to this day, we're such good friends. He doesn't even know this story. One day, I'm having lunch with Mekhi on set, and I go, damn, man, so what movie, what you going to do next? And he's like, man, I got to fly out to Detroit to do this Untitled Eminem project. I go, wait, what role?
Like, what?
I go, what role are you playing? He goes, Future. And my rap name in real life is Future. I couldn't even speak.
That's terrible.
So till today, he still doesn't know that story. But it's stuff like that that you see. You can't buy that.
No, that's priceless.
And I'm working with the cat. And but it goes again. It shows you how Hollywood works. Because at that time, Mekhi was huge. That's another movie for him. That's nothing. But that could have changed my life. But it wasn't for me. Now I know that it wasn't for me. But at that time, it crushed me. There's a few of those. Remember the Titans? I was up for that 7 call. Same thing. Like, so seeing these and then seeing how big the movies came out, when you watch the documentary, it'll take you back and be like, oh, shoot. So Sam he would have been playing that role or whatever, you know?
Right.
It's interesting.
But no, because and you also talk about the politics of Hollywood. So like does that kind of tie into what you were just talking about?
Yeah,
because like, what is really the politics of Hollywood?
I mean, the politics is them having to get a name, even if you're damn good at your job. You know, there's like, even right now, as like with acting, I know that I have to work on my craft and I'm good, but I'm not great. I know I'm going up. Hosting,
that's you.
I feel like nobody can mess with me. You bring Ryan Seacrest, you bring anybody, I will go toe-to-toe with them, because the thing is, I'm so diverse. I hosted Donald Trump's Miss California for 5 years. Then I could go do Yo Mama. Then I hosted the Daytime Emmys live. Like, you can't box Sam as a host. Ryan Seacrest is good, but he does one thing. I can do a million different things, just like an actor that's a real actor that can play a million different roles.
It's organic.
It's just like, I get it. And I don't even work on hosting. Is just God-given. Like how my friends, I told you they're 2 in a billion with the acting thing. That's how I am as a host. Get me on set, tell me what I got to do, and I go. I don't need no prep, no nothing. Only prep I need is doing the research on who I'm going to be talking to.
Right.
But as a host, I'm not up here, and it's only because of the political side. There's certain shows. I mean, let's be real. Let's really be real, right? How many black people are on primetime television as hosts? I can tell you them right now.
Name them on one hand.
Nick Cannon, Wayne Brady, AJ, and Terrence.
Well, and Sean Robinson, right? If we want to name
him one. And Sean, Beyond
that's about
there's
it.
None. There's none. So as good as I am as a host, when those roles come up, they're usually going with somebody of another color. Or a name. Or if it's going to be a color, it's got to be a A-list name. You know what I'm saying?
Which is frustrating, right? Because, again, how does somebody become that name until they're given the opportunity?
But you know, it's like, that's why, like, the last 5 years, I've been doing a lot of stuff with BET. All last year, I was hosting Access Live, which is Ryan Seacrest's network. I did, like, their TRL show. I did that all last year. So I'm getting shows. It's just one of them is going to be that primetime shows that gives you that kick. Because Sean, Nick, all of them came from something. Nick wouldn't be America's Got Talent if it wasn't for Wild 'N Out. You know what I mean? So all of them, Terrence wouldn't be at E if it wasn't for 106 and Park. So luckily for me, I'm getting those jobs that get you there before the big job.
The gateway job.
What I mean? So it's going to happen. I'm not worried about it. But to answer your question, that's political. Where, you know, it's like, okay, do we go with Sam or do we go with this person? So that's the political side, where it has nothing to do with your talent. It's just about, you know, they feel like that person in Iowa, that middle-aged person or whatever, doesn't know who the heck Sam Sarpong is. So even if he's good, even if he's, then we're not going to watch him. But if we put someone else there, maybe if they tune in for 2 seconds, they're going to watch him. So let's go get Nick Leger to do this because he was in it. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of, and nothing away from Nick, because Nick is a good host. But I'm giving you an example of politics. That's
perfect sense.
That's a perfect example.
Perfect sense. But you did recently cover some behind-the-scenes coverage at the BET Awards for 2013. Favorite moment as a host?
Favorite moment as a host? I think just seeing Snoop and them do the Charlie Wilson thing. I really enjoyed that.
Timberlake and
I thought that was great.
Awesome.
And Charlie Wilson, I didn't know all those things about him. So being there live and watching his little video, man, and he was so down to earth. And you know my favorite part of the whole thing? How much love he gave his wife.
Right.
And when he said she was with me when I didn't have nothing, man, I was like, it was goosebumps. Because I'm huge on that. My whole camp is people that have been with Sam from day one. Like my man Curtis is with me right now, my photographer. He goes everywhere with me, shoots all my behind the scenes. It's a family, you know. My manager I've been with for 12 years, my hosting agent for 9 years. Like it's a family. Like I really, that's why when I make it, that's why I respect people like Jamie Foxx. He's had his manager over 20-something years. Jack Nicholson's had his same small agent for like 30-something years. Like, that's when you're like, okay, this is a good person. Jack wasn't going to be like, I'm big now, so I'm going with William Morris for CAA. Forget you. No, and that's how I am. It's the same team, same thing, because they get it.
Loyalty.
Yeah, we're going to fight this thing out until you get there.
Okay. Now, I'm wrap this up, but my last question.
Said wrap it up, right?
Speaking of beatboxing rappers, right?
Here we go.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, because you know I know that you really admire this man, and so you definitely identify with a couple, you know, of his philosophies and everything. Because you actually earlier too in the interview, you know, you quoted Will Smith. So, what was it like meeting this man for the first time? Can you kind of take us through that?
Well, what was real cool is I went to Dwayne Martin's birthday party. Dwayne's a friend of mine, and I was at Dwayne's birthday party, and I had just done an interview on BET the week before. Okay. This was fresh off my Fashion Awards. I was just now starting to build my buzz. So I'm a fresh, young, snot-nosed kid. And I walk up to Will. He's there. I'm like, Will, man, hey, man, my name is Sam Sarpong. I'm a big fan. Like, I'm like literally shaking. Yeah. It's like seeing that fine dime piece when you young, you don't even know what to say. So I was like, yo, Will, I'm a big fan of yours. It was like those kind of nerves. Yeah. I'm like, I'm a big fan of yours, man, and I just want to come up here and just say, I respect you, man. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, I know you are. He goes, Sam Sarpong, right? I go, yeah. He goes, me and Jada were watching your interview last week on BET Live with Michael Collier. I'm like, get out of here. And he's just like this, straight face. He's like, nah, for real, we were. I was like, oh, my God. And he goes, wait a minute, you rap, right? You got a little group in Asia? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, check this out. I'm going to be rapping later on stage. Ed Lover was DJing. He goes, why don't you get up, man, and rock the mic with me? So here I am. Everybody in Black Hollywood's there. Morris Chestnut, Regina King, all the Wayne brothers, everybody. This is my first taste of like celebrities. Like I was fresh out of high school, like to see people that you grew up with all in this house. And we're in a small, cool, intimate room. And there I was rapping with Will, and everybody's like this because I was freestyling. And I look out and I'm seeing Morris Chestnut over here, this one over here, and it was even till today, no movie, no award, nothing beats that moment. Awesome. Because that was when God told me, you're going to make it. Like, for me, it was like, you know, you never need anybody's approval, but to be so young and to see 30 people in the crowd that I admire their work and they're rocking to me freestyling, I had already made it. I was like, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
So that's my Will Smith story.
Yes. That's like a Sam story, though,
Man,
too, right?
It's like, it's incredible.
The arrival of Sam Sarpong.
Yeah, that's almost like an 8 Mile story.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? You know who I am? But the thing was about it, too, was he was so cool. It's like, Sam Sarpong, right? I'm like, wait, is that my name? I'm looking back. That is me.
That's awesome.
But that was cool. So, yeah, that was inspiring.
All right, speaking of names, we're going to play a little game, Sam. It's going to be fun. You ready to have fun?
Yeah, always.
All right. So you have a clothing line, correct?
Future Stars Collection.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
Future Stars Collection is a line I basically started in high school, and it's very positive, inspired. So, like, my main line under that is called Chosen One. You know, many are called, few are chosen. Yep. So it's just like, it's very... There's you know, I have like V-necks for girls with crosses on them. It says only the strong survive. But it's really like, it's rock star, funky, cool, hip, edgy. And, you know, I've been doing it for a long time. But it's been big in Asia. I haven't dropped it out here. And I just now are launching it. I did a launch last year, and the response was incredible. So now I'm in 4 stores on Melrose. I'm getting in a bunch of boutiques. So it's really like, by like January 2014, it's going to be everywhere. We're doing like I have a whole marketing team, and we're doing like a slow build. So you guys will be hearing about it. But it's
I'll take a cross T-shirt.
Oh, I got you.
Extra small.
Don't
worry about that.
I got you with the hoodie. There we go. Yeah,
right.
I got you.
All right. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have somebody in production booth? Can I get some Jeopardy music, please, or something fun and festive, if you're so inclined? So a little bit about the game. It's called Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a series of possible clothing lines, and you are going to A, tell me if it's a real clothing line or if it's fake.
Okay.
And if it's real, you can tell me the celebrity whose line it is.
All right, cool.
You ready?
See how much I really know my fashion,
right?
All right.
This is easy. Okay. First up, fetish.
That is Eve's line.
Ooh. All right. We see Sam Sarpong. Okay. Second up, Destiny's Denim.
Destiny's Denim? Fake.
Oh, this brother's good. All right. Bloodline.
DMX.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that one, but you're right.
Let me tell you something. If you're gonna do something, you got to do your. So if I'm gonna have a clothing line,
All right.
I'm gonna study my competition in and out.
I see that. Okay.
Okay.
Swag on top.
Fake.
All right, correct again. Baby fat.
Oh, that's easy. Kimura.
Okay. Millionaire Boys Club.
Come on, Pharrell.
Ah.
We tricked you.
Oh,
Millionaires, boy. Got him, coach. Got him, coach.
Good job, Nick.
Oh,
That was Nick. Okay.
That's
You saw I asked.
Okay. Okay. Per diem.
Fake.
Yeah. Okay. Vocal.
Oh shoot, Nelly.
Yeah, ding ding ding. He's right. And last but not least, Lamb.
Oh, my girl Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gwen
the
Stefani.
purses, all that. I got 7 out of 8.
Yeah, you did good.
Really, I got 8, but y'all.
No, yeah.
Millionaires Boys Club. Oh my God.
That was impressive.
BBC.
Yeah,
Come on. I
BBC.
know, I love Pharrell's
But that
line.
was impressive,
Yeah.
Sam.
No,
All right.
one thing about me, if I'm gonna do something, I get in. And I will end it on this with the fashion tip. The reason my line is so hot, I've studied under the geniuses. So like Ed Hardy used me to launch his line. I was the face of Ed Hardy for 4 years. So I saw him from a little store on Melrose to becoming a freaking
international
$1 million 100 licensing deal empire.
Yeah.
So I know what it takes and I know the strategies. That's why I know with my clothing line I'm going to succeed, you know?
Awesome.
And I'm
There you
passionate about it. Like I love designing. I'm like a little
tell.
kid. Yeah.
There you go.
So we have a January 2014 release of the line.
Yep.
What else is new and upcoming for Sam Sarpong?
Man, right now, okay, this fall, check me out. I'm doing a show called Average Dad with Jamie Presley, who is on My Name is Earl,
Yeah.
Brent Goldberg. Movies coming out. No Weapons is a family church movie with Tiny Lister. He plays my dad.
Yeah.
Trigger that I was telling you about stars me and Matt Cohen, who's on 90210. I play his co-star in that. Shooting a movie right now with Ice-T, Vanessa Williams. It's called Cross the Line. That's why I was late today. Traffic. So that. And then next up, I'm doing a movie called Angel's Landing, where I play a rap star. I start shooting that in like a month. And then the EP will drop sometime in November. It's called Lose My Mind. Look out for that. And then what else? Yeah, that's
a full plate.
And then BET,
That's
you know,
it.
I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot for BET, so just keep watching. You know, you're gonna see me hosting, and we got this other show, Underground Outlet, that'll be coming out soon. So yeah, man, I'm just really trying to just stay working.
Yeah, you are a busy, very successful and promising young man.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sam Sarpong. Well, that's it for this episode of BHL Next. Your host, Ebony K. Williams. You can find me on Twitter at Ebony_K. Sam, where can they find you on social media?
At Mr. Sam Sarpong. That's my Twitter. And Facebook, just Sam Sarpong.
Okay.
And then I don't mess with Instagram. I'm going to get on there. I always say.
You didn't get on it.
I hate all this social media stuff.
Too much access.
Man, let me tell you. The only reason I'm doing it is because I lost out on jobs.
Got it.
But I'm private. I don't want no one to know that I freaking just checked in at the Cafe Entourage or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm chilling.
Yeah. Give him his privacy, ladies and gentlemen, but follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Mr. Nick Purdue, where can they find you?
Everywhere at the Nick Purdue.
You worldwide, baby.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Mr. International.
There you go.
What?
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Man.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Christian, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network.
That's Hollywood redefined.
I'm sorry, I missed the cue. Can I do it again, Phil? Sorry.
Do it again.
Shut up, Phil. All right. Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.